everybody, welcome back to another video. Sorry in advance for the kind of shaky filming and whatever else. I am just recording this while it's on my mind, which I think is the best time to record messages like this. I'm on my way home from an underwater workout class that I just did. And today's message or word is about consistency. And as you may be familiar with, if you've been watching my videos a while, I love posting about my personal life and my relationship with God and spirituality and wisdom and insights. And I am a very emotional person, a very deeply feeling person. And life just moves me all about like water, like the tides, like the moon, pulls and pushes on the tides of the ocean. And that's just kind of my constitution. And when I feel my feelings, there's always some kind of thing, some pattern, some wisdom, some insight, some knowledge that I get to observe from them and extract from them. It's one of my favorite things, and that's why I love making videos and whatnot. And I think the things that I say in general, there's a million ways to kind of say them, so I really just want to stay focused on the point of what I'm trying to say and find the best ways to try to say what I want to say. But the message, again, is about consistency. And there's something in how do I say this? When we have a certain commitment or a practice, or maybe we took a class one time and learned a skill that really amplified us in a certain area of our life. Maybe we learned to meditate once, or to maybe we volunteered at a cat shelter one time and we felt how amazing it felt. Maybe we traveled or made a piece of art or whatever it is that we did, and we had this experience of how supportive that doing that thing was to our mood, our energy, our mindset, our levels of vitality, our health, our joy, etc., our self, our well-being overall. I hope that if people can't refer to a time where they did something that, made them feel supported in that kind of way, I really hope that people can find and discover that. But I think it's a pretty common experience. Like, most people can reflect on their lives and think of one small moment where they did something or experienced something that felt supportive. And if that's not the case, then I really hope that you find that, because that's just really sad way to live. But anyway, so I am talking about this because I guess I'll tell you a little story to kind of convey this message. When I was 16, so this was 10 or 11 years ago, so I'm almost 27. Next month I will be 27 in January. Not that age matters so much. But anyway, when I was 16, I was initiated into a type of meditation that is it's like a sister meditation to the lineage of Transcendental Meditation, or TM. My aunt is TM. She has studied under Maharishi since she was in college in the 70s. So she's like an OG, an original gangster of Transcendental Meditation. And so she taught me Sahaj Samadhi meditation and initiated me into the lineage. And it's the same lineage as TM because Maharishi, shared TM with the world, and his disciple, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, I don't know the exact story, but he either created or conceptualized Sahaj Samadhi meditation, but he teaches it, so it's part of his lineage. So anyway, I got initiated into that when I was 16. I didn't practice consistently until I was 18. And when I was 18, I found myself, thanks to my aunt, in a community of people who practiced this particular meditation within this culture, this lineage, and also the breath work that is taught by the Art of Living organization. And yeah, it's all part of the same lineage. So I did the meditation and breath work consistently every single day for about 4 years straight. And then I let go of the practices because my life wasn't balanced. So I needed to take time and focus and put them towards discovering what was supportive for me. And I would improvise. I would find creative practices or social engagements or like solo activities or nature things, whatever. I just lived my life trying to prioritize my peace and my well-being, and so I let go of my practice, and that served me for a while until years later, I, being the sensitive feeling person that I am, all of the sort of weight or all of the impressions, all the emotions, all the, hard things that I'd been through, or, hard things that I'd seen, or like losses, or, changes in life, all these difficult things that I went through kind of just added up in a subtle way, and nothing was supportive enough to help me cleanse and release those things in order to feel and be able to be present with life 100%. And so I like relationship problems and losses and changes and all these things that I just named, all these things created stress, and it accumulated. And so I went back to my meditation and breathwork practices, doing them twice daily. And I had stints where I would do those practices for like a couple days out of, or a couple months out of like the year. And it would really kind of hold me through those times. And then I would like let them go again when I felt fine, when I felt good. But I recently picked them back up again, and I had this conviction in my soul, like, this is a foundational practice for my entire life. I really can't afford to let these things go. The reason being is because, and this is for me, like, you, as you're listening to this, maybe your mind is sparking in a particular direction, and you're recognizing, there's this one habit or this one thing that when I do it, or when I think about it, or when I stick to it, it changes my life. It makes me feel whole. It makes me feel clear. It makes me feel present and available to meet my days and to meet other people and to be engaging in the world with a clear mind. And the breath work, particularly the breath work practice that I do, which is a part of this same lineage as TM and the Sahaj Samadhi meditation, is called Sudarshan Kriya, which translates to pure vision of the self. Because doing this kind of breath work literally helps to wash away these sankalpas, or these impressions, or trauma, or stress and things like this. And so they actually they liberate us, they free us, they allow our minds to be present, to be here, and to be at peace. Because we can't experience peace if our minds and our bodies are preoccupied with things that are, harmful, or just blocking us from being present with what is in front of us. So I got back into my breathwork meditation, decided I cannot afford to let this go, especially right now. And so there's that. I've been consistent for a couple months now, and it has been a lifeline. It's like breathing. It's like breathing oxygen. It's like drinking water. It's essential. And so Yeah. And so, okay, so there's that story. And now fast forward, I just took an underwater workout class. It was my first one that I'd taken in a few months because I'd been away traveling, and now that I'm back in Florida with family, just staying here for a couple weeks, I woke up this morning. So I was out late last night at an art show with my best friend who's in town, and I was sitting around a fire last night, and at one of the networking events that we were at, there were a bunch of people just like smoking, and secondhand smoke was blown right in my face, and not like it. I cannot even express how much that pisses me off, because if you are someone who smokes in public, please be conscious about where you're exhaling from. Like, I know it's a public place, whatever, you have a right to be outside, but it's like, if you're gonna be all like righteously indignant about the fact that you have the freedom to smoke outside, like, just please hear from me that if you're standing around other people, like, you don't know if someone has asthma or is pregnant or has health issues or has a sensitivity that you don't understand, and so you're basically polluting their lungs with your secondhand smoke. And everybody has a right to take up space and to feel comfortable in public spaces, and there should, like, I really feel like people should breathe into carbon filters when they're smoking outside, because it's disgusting. It's literally toxic. I don't want to poison myself. I don't want, so anyway, I got some secondhand smoke last night, and it really fucked me up. And I woke up this morning and I felt awful. I was emotional. I had a headache. Last night when I got back from the show, I was shaking. Like, I was physically shaking. And I was partially like feeling pretty weak and pretty tired. I got back after midnight, but I do not shake like that. But I was shaking. I was the world, the smoke, and the smoke of the fire that it kept blowing in my face. It was kind of funny because it was literally following me around, which is a sign that I think I need to pay more attention to. I really feel like it was telling me to just like back off, just like move away, seriously. Anyway, the secondhand smoke thing for me and the way that it affected me is completely synonymous with emotions and psychic experiences in life. They happen, they come through us, they affect us, they intoxicate our bodies, and we need to release the emotions and release the toxins and release the crud and the energy in order to be fresh and to function and to greet the day and to greet people and to just be present. And so anyway, I woke up this morning and I was feeling very, very awfully crusty, and I woke up pretty late. Woke up around like 9:30, 10. Well, 9:30 is not that late, but like I got out of bed around 10, like around 10, a little before. And so I took a shower, and I was thinking, what can I do this morning that helps to get my blood pumping and give me some good juju, good endorphins, something in the sunshine, something active, something social. And I thought of this underwater workout class. So I looked on the WhatsApp chat group to find if there was one happening today, and sure enough, there was one happening in 2 hours from when I checked. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna take a shower, leave all this stuff, leave my meditation, breath work for when I get back home, and I'm going to go to this class. And mind you, I felt terrible. I think this is actually the wrong lane. I have driven this route a million times, so I'm pretty good. So don't worry about my safety if you are worried. I'm used to talking and stuff into video while driving, and I'm a very safe driver, so all is well. And yes, I am in the right, correct lane. Okay, so south. Yes, I want to go south. Anyway, so I went to the class, and oh my gosh, I was having such a histamine response from the leftover smoke and everything last night during the class that when I like looked out in the sun, even when I was in the shade, my eyes were so watery I could barely keep them open, which is unusual for me. I'm the type of gal who never wears sunglasses, really. I stare into the sun I look at the sun in the morning, and I hear that it's actually, good for you. And some people say, you can burn your retinas or whatever. And I don't know enough to know, how to educate people about staring into the sun. But I know the way that it makes me feel, and I trust my intuition and whatnot. And I know some people might argue or have a problem with the way that I speak or am or whatever. And, and I am curious to learn, of course. But, I can't avoid looking at the sun, okay? I cannot avoid looking at the sun sometimes. Anyway, tangent aside, I couldn't keep my eyes open, so I knew that I was very, very off. I did have a bit of a headache from my histamine response, and I felt so crusty. I felt emotional. I felt tired. I felt awful. Like, I felt really off kilter. And, it could be a culmination of just many things. The energy of being back in a dirty city, like being in a crowded city, all the buzzing all around. And the RV park that I'm staying in right now, my neighbors are like 5 feet away from me. It's very cramped, and it's not attractive. Like, it's kind of a stressful environment, but I'm doing it just so that I can have my own space to be accountable for my own energy instead of staying at someone else's house, staying at my mom's house, because we're not very good roommates. But anyway, so all these things, all these details aside, I wasn't feeling great for a number of reasons, but I showed up because I knew that I really needed to go to this thing and give myself a boost with nature and sun and movement and socialization. And it worked. It was amazing for me. So anyway, I did it, and I pushed through. I showed up and I stayed present, and I did everything. And I wasn't as fast as everyone else. I wasn't as whatever, but that really doesn't matter. And people were very encouraging and accommodating. And there was a point where I got water up my ears and I couldn't go on under anymore because it was giving me a headache, and that was making me emotional. And when we took a break, I went off to the bathroom and I had a cry in the stall for a second. And just things are moving, emotions are moving. I'm not trying to make anything out of anything, and not trying to make up a story, you know what I mean, about all the stuff that's wrong. I just was there and, doing good to love myself and be present. So anyway, went through the class and felt regulated again, felt more baseline. Like, I'm sure you can feel from this video that I have a good level of energy and enthusiasm and clarity and poignancy. There's a vitality and a warmth to my speech, and that's because of the practice that I did today. So coming back full circle, consistency. Okay, I had a moment where I kind of wasn't as consistent with my workout practices, with my physical activity practices. For whatever reasons, I just didn't keep them up in the same way, didn't have the same level of discipline, maybe was taking a break, maybe extended my break a little longer than maybe I should have, and the thing about practices is that, don't you just love when you're literally merging and the car behind you needs to get in front of you even though you're in traffic and they're not getting anywhere faster than you are? A little sarcasm to get me through driving in Fort Lauderdale traffic. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Anyway, so I dropped my movement practices. I wasn't doing them as consistently. I went from a deep dive doing 40 hours of dancing a week for a couple of weeks to traveling and being in transition and really not doing as much. And I was at these retreats and I was in environments that held me accountable externally to do my practices, but as soon as I went out of them, I kind of let them go a little bit. And normally I am pretty good at holding myself accountable being alone, But there are like always just some things that make it extra hard for me to like push through to like keep myself accountable. But sometimes, some days when you especially the days when you least feel like doing the thing that you know is good for you. Sorry for my faces. I just my skin is like dry from like the pool, so I'm being a little scrunchy. But anyway, especially on the days when you feel like you want to just do nothing, be potato, I feel like it's especially important to at least just spritz the plant with water, so to speak. And that's my analogy for like showing up, and at the very like just do the bare minimum. Do the bare minimum if you don't want to do anything. Like eat, just if you want to eat chips all day, like eat an apple, okay? Just like force yourself to do it, or whatever, you know what I mean? In general, obviously do what works for you, and you know, don't take my advice, you know, especially if it doesn't apply to your life, because I don't know you, I don't know anything about your life, I don't know who you are, I don't know who's watching this. But I hope my point gets across. Every day, do something supportive for yourself, and stay consistent. I swear, consistency. Because here's the thing. When life is good and fine, life is good and fine, and nothing is going on that's bad or that's challenging. And when life gets challenging, if you're not conditioned to weather the storm, then you're going to be wasting your energy fighting against it, instead of taking refuge in your shelter that you spent all these months beforehand building. You know what I mean? So whatever it is for you, whatever your practice is, whatever your vision is, whatever your long-term goals are, whatever it is that you feel like you were born to do in this world, and every day of your life you dream of the day that you're going to get to arrive at this point in your life. Every single day you must do something. Even if it's taking a breath and setting an intent, like setting the prayer, like whatever action it is that you know is going to help you get to your goal in the long run and sustain you while you're living your dreams, while you're living your goals in the long run. Whatever that thing is for you, do it every single day. Devote yourself. It's about devotion. Devotion, devotion, devotion. It is not easy. It is not easy to show up every day when you don't want to, or even when your mind tells you you have no reason to. It's one thing if, like, the voice of God, your intuition, knows that you don't need to be doing something anymore, or you do need to start doing something anymore. Listen to God. Listen to God. Listen to your soul, your intuition, not what anybody else says. You know, don't take my advice. Listen to your own, truth, your own voice of truth, your own inner voice, and honor that. That's literally what I'm saying. That's literally all I'm telling you to do, is to just listen to your intuition, to the voice of God, to your soul, and stay committed to that. Like, devote yourself to that, because God does not lie. Intuition does not lie. When something is going to be beneficial for you, and your soul knows that, but sometimes your flesh and your ego don't want to do the thing because of a billion reasons. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, you're valid for feeling how you feel because you're a human. So be a human, make space to address your human self, and do what you need to do that supports you and gets you through things, whether that's a mindset or calling a trusted loved one on the phone or something. But this message today is mainly about staying committed to the truth of your soul. And you know the things that are good for you. You know the things that feel the best for you. And you know what happens when you stay on them, and you know what happens when you don't. So that's literally all I have to say. I really hope that this reaches the ears of those who can be served by hearing it. And I believe in you. I love you. I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, even if you're alone, even if you don't have anyone else to do it with, even if you don't have anyone else holding you accountable, even if this is just like a solo thing, or if you do have a big group of people, or whatever, like whatever your situation is, your circumstance, I just want to encourage you today to do that thing. Literally do that thing. Make a list, make a time, figure out how it's going to fit into your schedule, and when the clock strikes, the time for you to do that thing, when the window's open, literally sit yourself down and meditate, or sit yourself down and do the thing, or pick up the pencil and write the thing, or pick up the pen and draw the thing. Like, make the space and show up. That is the most important thing. Show up for yourself. You could have a terrible day. You could be in a terrible mood all day, and you can still show up. You can have all these reasons to quit, all these reasons not to follow through with something. But you can still show up. If you're not like physically unable to do the thing that you physically need to do. And I'm also not advocating to like abuse yourself and push yourself beyond your capacity either, because it has been really easy for me to take messages like the ones that I'm sharing with you right now and apply them just to the wrong situations. Like, there are times where I need to just do nothing. There are times where I need to, turn off. And that's, again, why I'm saying is listen to your soul. Devote yourself to your soul, the voice of your God, your truth. That's the most important thing, whatever that is. And if someone thinks they know better than your own soul, than the voice of God, then no, they don't. And I would encourage you to learn to listen to that quiet, still voice of God, or whatever it is that brings you peace, that brings you good health, that brings you love, that brings you connection, joy, all those things. Whatever it is that guides you towards well-being, may you latch onto it, may you honor it, may you hear it, and may you pay heed to it today and every day. I'm wishing you the best. You can check out the description of this video for more of my personal offerings if you want to support that. I do tarot readings, I do intuitive readings, and I'm also an artist. I make art, and I have other YouTube videos if you want to learn more about my life and my cat and my travels and the things that I do and the things that I think. And I have a lot of writing and vignette videos up there, like short film kind of stuff. I love self-expression and art and everything, so that is that. So yeah, that's all. I wish you well. Thank you for being here.